To Washington, these are victims of that IRS targeting scandal that erupted a couple of years back. Can you believe it's been a couple of years? Groups that say that simply because they were conservative or not left-leaning organizations, their filings for tax-exempt status were dragged, through paperwork and sometimes outright refused for a considerable amount of time. Now, Republicans have been arguing that that was reason enough, given the lag time, just waiting for emails, information, or anything from John Koskinen, the leader of the IRS there, who you see testifying earlier, was that he would fess up and do something and act on this, and they said that he hasn't. So a lot of them have been telling the president, you got to fire the guy. He's got to go. Among those advocating that is Congressman Steve Russell, who signed a letter calling for the IRS commissioner's resignation. Now, obviously, he's not followed suit on that, Congressman. So what do you make of these hearings? Will anything come of them?
Well, what we've already established in the hearings that we've had with the IG is 3 admissions that Director Koskinen had information, and then he gave testimony to the contrary in what were false statements. That is a problem, and so that's why we've seen the latest dust-up.
All right, so you heard from him nothing that would dissuade you from that. Any of his remarks today, he said, this is there's no cabal going on. There's no, sinister intentions afoot here. What is your sense of emails and documents were once thought were lost, then suddenly found, then lost again? Lois Lerner, who still is yet to testify. Where is this going? I have a feeling that it's just going to be a case of running out the clock and it goes away.
Well, we're trying to prevent that, and the fact that we've gotten to this point is encouraging. We have established that false statements were made before Congress. They said that the emails, no stone would be unturned, Mr. Koskinen's direct quote, and that every avenue had been explored. We've established that only one of the avenues of a half a dozen had been explored. He said that the emails couldn't be recovered, that data was not available to be recovered. Both false statements, 24,000 emails eliminated. The American public has a very good sense of what this is, and now Mr. Koskinen needs to resign.
All right. It doesn't look like he's going to, and I get a sense from the president and comments he's made on this that he doesn't think there's anything to this. So when I raised this with Darrell Issa on a separate issue, talking to him on Fox Business today, Congressman, he gave me the impression this is going nowhere fast. This is from Darrell Issa.
He's not going anywhere because this president wants him just where he is, delaying, denying, and complaining. Remember, the president has now gone from admitting that there was targeting of conservatives to pretending that it was a bad law passed before he was born.
What do you think of that?
Well, it just shows that as evidence becomes available, this is getting harder and harder to dismiss. I am encouraged. We've seen in oversight and government reform this spring already 2 directors resign, and we've had a 3rd that's been brought up on criminal charges. So we are doing our job. We're not going to cease. The American people deserve to have people be honest with the IRS. If they eliminated their own personal data and their own nefarious dealings, they would be held to account and imprisoned if they did that to the IRS. So we are not going to quit.
All right, Congressman, thank you very, very much. We'll keep monitoring it and keep monitoring the hearings. All right, we should let you know that after the bell, Facebook came out with numbers, their latest quarterly earnings that not only beat on profits, but beat on revenues as well. Now, there is a nuance to this report because the sort of the online greet and meet place had higher than expected expenses. So I don't know how that all sort of pans out here, but it would be among those things they chew on. Of course, this comes a day after the fact we got Twitter coming out with numbers that were originally greeted favorably. Then the big honchos got in the conference call and mucked it all up. What they said got folks worried. Now, I don't know what Mark Zuckerberg is going to say if he gets even in on something like that, but if he does, and worries them, that could hurt the stock in after-hours trading. No hurting stocks today, as we showed you just there. The Dow was up better than 121 points. Obviously, the world's concerns are the world's concerns, but not our concerns. When we come back, ahead of a very important debate, John McCain is saying, you know what? Don't pile on Donald Trump. His daughter, Meghan McCain, on whether Dad's right.